Good morning, everyone. Am I coming through? Can anyone confirm whether I'm clear on your side? Right, great. So, good morning for all of you again. Welcome to the free seminar series, which is conducted by the JMC College. This is a free seminar series which is starting today. This will be continue with other subjects as well. So today we are going to discuss about the ICT questions and the how those questions are going to be in your O levels. So if I introduce myself, I am Yugantha Laktaru, a teacher at Anula Vidyalaya. Today that I'm going to discuss the ICT paper that has been already received by you. Let's first discuss about the MCQ paper, and I would like to remind you again, this is a very good service that is given by the JMC College for the students who are in the GMC College as well as island-wide, who is about to face the O-level examination in very near future. It's kind of a very good hand for the students who are doing the O levels to revise their papers and revise the knowledge things that they have collected and tested whether it is going on the best way that you can do. So now it's better we switch to the paper as soon as possible. I will share the screen with you all. I will not be on the video when I'm discussing the paper with you. You will be seeing my screen, and I will do the discussion with the paper by explaining things on the screen. So in case if we are getting any communication issues, please let me know. Drop me a message, or you can disturb me by on in the microphone. And meanwhile, for the smooth communication method and for the clarity of the communication, uh, when you are not facing any other communication issues, please be careful with your mic as well as the cameras. Otherwise, it will be disturbed to the others as well. You are always open to ask any question during the session. You can disturb me regarding any particular point that is not clear with you. So I will be here and will do the explanation when as you ask. Okay, so let's switch to the session. So I will off my camera and share my screen. So just give me a small moment, then we can commence the discussion of the paper. Right. Right. Okay. Can anyone again confirm me whether I'm audible to you? Because I'm near my smart board, so I will be a little bit away from the microphone. I need to know whether the communication happens properly. Right. Okay. I think I'm pretty audible to you, right? Okay. That's great. All right. Let's start the session. This is the first question in the paper. I think you have received the paper already, and I think you have given a tryout for that as well. Let's go with the discussion so it will be easier for us to understand what this is. Okay, the first question is the printer is connected to a computer, but the computer cannot recognize the printer. Which are the components should be installed to solve this problem? So it is regarding the device that is being connected to the computer. So when a device being connected to the computer, there are devices which can understand or which can recognize by the operating system without being installed in any specific software. We call them plug and play devices. So when it comes to the printer kind of devices, it's not going to work as a plug and play one. So in those cases, we have to install the specific software to understand or to recognize the specific device by the operating system. So they are asking what is the name for that particular software. So the answer is going to be the device drivers. Third one. So it's not an application software. Application software is something that we use for our day-to-day workings. It is not the operating system. Operating system is the one who's managing the things very well, but it's not going to have the device drivers installed when it comes to printer kind of devices. If you think about the pen drives, the even the external hard disks, keyboards, mouse kind of devices, the operating system will recognize those things. It is by installing the device drivers by the operating system. That is why we call them plug and play devices. So in this situation, the printer scenario, we have to install the device. We have to install the device drivers. So the answer is going to be the third one. And utility software, again, it is not going to be an answer because the utility software means the softwares which is helping the user as well as the operating system to carry out their work very in a smooth manner. So as an example, to get rid of the our system to be protected from the viruses, we install an antivirus software. So it will up and running when we are starting the system. So it will take care of us or take care of our system without being infected by the malicious software. So that is what we call the utility softwares, which we are not directly interacting with much, but it will take care of us as well as the system. Okay, so the answer for the very first question, it's going to be a device driver. Okay, let me, I have received two messages. Let me see what it is. Yes, a question is there asking how can we get this paper? So sometimes some of you may have not received it. If you have not received it so far, I will share the PDF document over here. So you can download it. Just give me a second. So I will share it to you. Yeah, I'm going to share it on the group. So all of you will be able to access that thing. Yeah, just give me a second. I need to have the confirmation regarding the finalized paper from the JMC college. So just give me a second, paper. Okay, I have shared the paper with you in the chat. The people who don't have the paper, they can download it from the chat with the Zoom chat. So, still, if you are facing any problem, just let me know. So, I will inform the college to get attended to that particular thing. Right. I think we are good to go to the second question. So, let's move to the second question. So, it is asking which are the following devices used to convert uh, printed document into a digital form, right? Kind of an easy question. So a printed document to be converted into a digital form, we can use different kind of methods, but the most appropriate one, as well as if you want to have a quality input, it's better you go with the scanner. So it's definitely going to be an input device. So here we have the scanner as the fourth answer. So we can straight away go for that. If you think about the other three answers, joystick is an input device, but it is to do the pointing kind of a thing. So like mouse, joysticks, trackballs, everything goes with the pointing devices. Microphone is also an input device, but it is giving you the sound input, like I send in my sound to yourself. And printer definitely is not the answer. It is an output device. And do not mix this up with some of the printers which has or everything in one particular printer being set up. That means like if you just think about the printer device, it is capable of printing out the particular papers. But if you have seen the modern printers, it is come up with as a pack, as a bundle, like we call it all-in-one printers. So it has the scanning ability as well as the printing out abilities. Sometimes fax is there, copy facility is also there. So don't mix that up. It's a composite device. It is integrated with the scanner, with the printer and everything. So the printer in the sense, when it comes to your syllabus, printer means a device which can print. That's all, right? So scanner, even though it is integrated into the modern printers, it's a separate device that we are talking about. So clearly, answer goes with the fourth one, the scanner, right? Okay, and the third one, it is asking which of the following is a device used mainly for reading data from an optical storage? Yeah, so when it comes to the storage devices, we know there are three types of storage media, right? One is the magnetic media, the other one is the optical media, the other one is the solid media, right? So when it comes to the magnetic media, we are going to have hard disk drives, which is the magnetic format, and we have the floppy disks, and we have magnetic tapes, right? When it comes to the optical devices, you got CDs, you got DVDs, you got Blu-rays, those kind of things. And when it comes to the solid devices, we have SSDs, solid state disks, and we have pen drives or the flash drives, we call them, right? And we have memory chips or the SD cards, right? So there are things like these are the three storage types, the magnetic types, the optical types, and the solid type. So here they are asking what is the device that you use to mainly for reading the data from an optical storage. So you know, if you're going to read a CD, DVD, or a Blu-ray, you need a CD-ROM, right? So which is capable of having the disk inside and reading it by using a laser beam. So not the USB flash drive, it's a solid state one, and not the magnetic hard disk, it's a magnetic media, and not the solid state drive as well. It's a solid state device. Correct answer goes for the second one. Third one is the second answer. I'm sorry, not the second answer, the third answer, a CD-ROM, right? So it's better you understand or like remember what are the storage media. There will be definitely a question like this. And what are the examples and how the data being stored in those kind of mediums. Okay, here we go to the fourth question. I have taken the fourth and the fifth, both the questions into one screen because this particular diagram penetrates the fifth question as well. So I can't cut it out and take it separately. So the fourth question is talking about the figure below shows a computer network connected to the internet. Which are the following correctly identify the device X, Y, and Z? Yeah. So like the labels are shown here. This is X, this is Z, and this is Y. So here, when you are given this kind of a diagram, so this will remind you the diagram which has drawn in your textbook. Now, always remember when it comes to your O-level examination, the questions will be asked from the textbooks as well as the resources given to you. They are going to go beyond that thing, right? So always focus on what they are talking inside the textbook as well as in your notes, where your teacher has given, and stick into that. So it is very easy for you to find the answer. Right. Now, when we are analyzing this image, it has some PCs connected to the device X. And we know if the PCs are going to connected inside a network, we call it a local area network, LAN, we need a device called switch, or there is another device called hub. So definitely the device X is going to be switch or a hub. So from that, you can get rid of the devices, the choices which does not have switch or hub as its answer. So the first answer is eliminated. It is because X is given as a router, which cannot be, right? And the Y is something that can be connected with the switch, right? So it can be a computer, it can be a printer, it can be a scanner, it can be a server machine, kind of things, right? And ECD is something at one end it is connected with the switch or a hub, and on the other end it is connected with the internet. Now, when it comes to the internet connection, it's better we remember if we are going to have the internet connection, we must have a router. So without a problem, we can tackle what Z is. Z is going to be a router. And Y, in the other hand, should be a printer, a scanner, another computer, or can be a server computer as well. So server computer is none other than another computer which has higher performance comparing to a PC, right? So at the end of the day, when it comes to a network, server computer is again another computer, right? So only the name is going to be changed. It's changed due to a reason because it has high capabilities like the storages, memory, and service providing kind of things can be done by a server machine, right? So we figured out X is going to be either a switch or a hub. So we eliminate the first one because X is given as a router. So Y, it's going to be some kind of a device. Now, when it comes to the Y, the second, third, and fourth answers, we have file server, printer, and the modem. Now, modem is a device which is capable of converting an analog signal into a digital signal or the digital signal into an analog signal. It is a signal converter, which is not connected with a switch as an endpoint. Now, PCs are going to be the endpoints of the network, right? It's not going to connect it with so many other devices. So likewise, Y is not very likely to be a modem, right? Now, so we got a doubt position over here, right? And since we figured out Z is going to be a router, now that is going to give us a very good idea, right? So Z is going to be a router, so therefore the third answer cannot be taken. It says the firewalls. Because of that, third answer is eliminated, right? And the if you think about the second and the fourth one, both goes with the router when it comes to the Z choice, the Z1, the Z placement. And if you think about the Y, if you look at the Y, the second answer Y is a file server, and the fourth answer Y is a model. So the most suitable one is going to be the second one. Yeah, be careful with your microphones, right? So the most suitable one is going to be the second answer, because the X is told as a switch, Y is told as a file server, Z is told as a router. Now, in the fourth answer, the doubtful point, and it's not actually a doubtful point. When it comes to a modern cannot be somewhere placed on the Y, the square Y, right? So the correct answer for the fourth one is going to be the second one. Okay, so the fifth one, I have, yeah, there is a message for me. Let me check that thing. Yes, yeah. You're asking what's the answer for the third one. So, yeah, it's much better if you mark with the paper. So, just for this time, I'll show you what the answer is. The third one, the answer is the third one, right? So I may not be able to do this again and again when you are asking the answer for the questions at the middle of the another question. So please mark the answer. So we figured out the second answer is the answer for the fourth question. So now we are going to move to the fifth one. The fifth question says, which of the following device is used to convert digital signals into an analog signals and vice versa? I think I have described you when I'm talking about the modern in the previous answer. So you know the answer for this thing. The one who is converting a digital into an analog signal and the vice versa that is capable of by the modern, the third answer. So the answer for the third question is going, answer for the fifth question is going to be the third choice, a model, right? File server is capable of storing a very big amount of data and providing those data and whatever the information inside it to the client that is being connected with them, right? So if a server is connected to a network, that server machine will be able to serve whatever the service it is intended to serve to the clients. Client means the other machines, right? In your school laboratory, there can be one server machine connected to the switch, and there can be small computers or the personal computers connected to the same switch. So those personal computers, who we are called client, could be taken the devices or could be taken the services from the server which is connected to the same network. Yeah. Yeah, some annotations went. Let me disable the annotations for others. And yeah, is be careful with your minds, people. Yeah, okay, that's an answer that we have. Okay, good. That's good that you are keeping it. All right, so the answer for the fifth question, it's going to be 3. Okay, moving to the next question. The question number 6, let me clear these annotations. Where I can clear the annotations.
අඩේ ගිය මිනිහා ඉතින් තව නෑනේ.
All right. Right. I think here onwards, since the annotations are disabled, you will not may jump into these texts. Okay, going to the sixth question. Which of the following is hexadecimal equivalent of the binary, the 10111100? Yes. So we are going to convert a binary value into an hexadecimal value. So the easiest way is group in the binary value. So let's see how we are going to do that. I'll take the particular binary number given over here. So it is 1, 0, 4 ones, then 0, 0. And when we are going to convert this into a hexadecimal value, we have to separate this binary number into the group which is consisting 4 bits inside it. So we are starting from our right hand side. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4 and make a group. So the rest of the group is going to have another 4 as well. So those are the only groups that we are going to receive with this binary value. Now what we are going to do is we are writing the place values underneath it. This will be a very much easy way to do this particular thing. So the place values is also written on the second group as well. 1, 2, 4, 8. And now what we are going to do is we are going to circle the place values under the 1. This is one good method, right? There can be many more methods that you can do this. Either you can remember the pattern and you can remember the value for that as well. So if you don't remember the value, so you can go with this particular one as well. So write in the place values and easily you can get the answer. So 8 plus 4 will give you a 12. 8 plus 3 will give you 11. And we know 11 is denoted by the B and 12 is denoted by the C. So the correct answer should be BC in hexadecimal. So the second one is going to be your answer for the question number 6. Right. Okay. Good. Everyone is sending the answers. Yeah, it's a good thing. Right. So now we are moving to the seventh question. It is asking which of the following is the decimal equivalent of the binary? Yes, another conversion. So when it comes to the decimal, binary to decimal conversion, we need the place values. So let me get the binary number again. So you have 11010100. So if I'm writing the place values, it's going to be 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, this is 32, this is 64, and this is going to be 128. So now what we are going to do is, right, we are going to add up the place values. Since this is a binary value, we don't need to consider the multiplication of the place value with the symbol value. That means we don't need to see what is 128 is multiplied by with 1. So it's always 128. If it is multiplied with a 0, it's going to be always a 0. And that can also be, that can only be done with the binary values. In case if you are asked to convert a different number system value, you must multiply the place value with its symbols value because it's going to give you a different answer, right? But when it comes to the binaries, you can circle down the place values under the ones and you can simply add those things, right? So we are going to add 128 plus 64 plus 16 plus 4. Right? So what it's going to be? This is going to be 8 plus 4 is 12, 12 plus 10 is 22, 22 and 2 is remaining. 2, 6, 8 plus 1 is 9 plus 7 is 11, 9 plus 2 is 11. Taking another one to the other side, so it's going to be 212. So your answer is going to be the third one, which is 212 in decimal. Yes, very good, very good. Very good. You guys are interacting very well. Keep it up. Okay. So the answer for the seventh one is going to be 212. Right. Here comes the eighth question. Someone wants to store the following files in a USB drive. Photos.zip. It's a zip file. It contains 1.5 gigabytes. Notes 20 kilobytes. Video.mp4. It's a video file again 3.2 megabytes, and report it's a 500 megabytes. Which of the following is the lowest capacity USB drive that is sufficient to store it? Yeah, so the question asks, the USB should be sufficient to store all the files and then it should be the lowest, right? So if you think about the file capacities, we got a 1.5 gig file and we have 3.2 gigabyte file and we have 500 MB. right? Now 500 MB, this is less than 1 GB, right? Because 1 GB is equal to 1024 megabytes, right? So it is less than 1 GB. So let's remember that fact. It is less than 1 GB. And the notes.txt is 20 KB. This is definitely less than 1 MB because 1 MB is equals to 1024. So if we get a rough idea about the 500 MB and 20 KB, these things are definitely less than 1 GB altogether, right? So here the gigabyte value is going to be 4.7 gigabytes. So we may need 4.7 and maximum another 1 GB. That means 5.7 is more than enough for us. We are not going to go for the 5.7 as well because 500 MB means approximately half of a gigabyte, right? So 4.7 plus 0.5. 0.5 means half of the 1024. So that means 512 MB, right? So 512 MB means 500 and both 20 KB can be accommodated with the 512 MB. So 0.5 GB is more than enough to do that. So altogether we need only 5.2 gigabytes, right? Which brings us the answer, not the 4 GB. 8 GB is the suitable one, which is the lowest capacity. 16 GB and 32 GB are also suitable, but they are not the lowest one. So the correct answer is going to be the second one, 8 GB. Yes. Yes, there are a lot of new answers. Very good, very good, very well done. Right. So let's go with the ninth one. The ninth question. What do we have? The ninth question. Yes, this is the ninth question. Consider the following statements P and Q. Okay, so the statement P says a computer uses the binary number system to store data. Yes, that is the very first lessons that we are learning when we start learning the ICT. So of course, it's the binary number system. That means ones and zeros. That is the base that we are learning. So the statement P is correct. And the statement Q says a byte consists of 8 bits and can be used to represent a single character according to the EBCDIC. Yes. Now, EBCDIC means Extended Binary Coded Decimal Interchange Code. All right. So, when it comes to the coding systems, if you can remember, we are learning BCD, Binary Coded Decimal, and we learn about ASCII, American Standard Code for Information Interchange. And we are using, we learn in EBCDIC, Extended Binary Coded Decimal Interchange Code, and we use Unicode. We are learning Unicode. BCD is a 4-bit code, ASCII is a 7-bit code, EBCDIC is an 8-bit code, and Unicode is a 16-bit code. You better remember these facts, right? So, of course, the statement Q is quite right, because EBCDIC uses 8 bits and it can be used to represent a single character. If you can remember the table that is given you, we have given to you in your textbook, it shows how the EBCDIC represent a particular character. So Q is also correct. So let's move into the answers. It says both statements P and Q are correct, and the fact stated in the Q support the fact described in the P. Yes, so it is quite right? So first statement P is talking about the binary data and Q is talking about the EBCDIC. Again, how the single character is storing using 8 bits, that means ones and zeros. So of course, the first answer should be the answer they are asking, the valid statement, the valid answer, right? So the second, third, and fourth. The second one says both statement P and Q are correct, but the point represented in the two statements are not related. No, they are related, right? So definitely not the answer B. Statement P is correct, but the statement Q is incorrect. That is wrong. Statement Q is also correct. Both statements are incorrect. That is also wrong. So clear cut, the answer is going to be the first one for the ninth. Right, very good, very good. Okay, then we are going to the 10th question. Okay, right? It's very good, people, that you are interacting with the lesson, right? So keep it up. So the 10th question here, it says, which are the following only contain examples of application software? Yeah, as I remember, I told you regarding the application software in a previous question. So application softwares are these softwares which is helping us to do our day-to-day activities. If you want to create a document, if you want to analyze some data, if you want to present some document, if you want to store data, right, we use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, database kind of softwares. And again, the games that you are playing, the video players that you are referring to, everything satisfied or give the services for us as the users to do our day-to-day activities. So those are called the application software. So if you look into the very first answer, it says MS Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and LibreOffice. Yes, that explains the application softwares. So what's wrong with the second one? Here we got Windows, it's an operating system. Android is an operating system again. Ubuntu, an operating system again. Mac OS, an operating system again. So what is the category of the operating system? There comes with the system software, not with the application software. So definitely not the second one. Non-antivirus, it's an antivirus which is a utility software. Windows Defender, it is also an antivirus software, which is again a utility software category. And Linux and Mac OS goes with the operating system, which is a system software. So when it comes to the system software, I think you can remember system software divided into three major categories. First one is the operating systems, the other one is the utility softwares, the other one is the language translators, right? And remember, device drivers are also goes under the system softwares, right? In some of the cases, some people are like doing the categorization under the system software. In some cases, it does not. But when it comes to your syllabus, we clearly talk about the operating systems, the utility softwares, and the language translators under the system software. So again, the third one is not going to be the answer. Fourth one is also not going to be the answer. Chrome, it's a browser, which is an application software, true. Windows is an operating system, that's the problem here. And Excel is an application software. Again, Ubuntu is an operating system. So it's not going to be qualified as well. So the first one is the answer for the 10th question. Okay, so I'm done with 10 questions. If you have any clarification regarding the 10 questions that I have discussed with you, it's time for you to ask the questions. So if you've got any questions, just let me know. Yes, Kumar. First question, I have to turn like 10 pages. Let me, yeah, I got a hard copy with me. Yes. Yeah, answer for the first question is device driver. Answer number 3. Right. So it seems no any clarification to be made. Yeah. I think it's better, all of you. I really appreciate the interaction that you are done with me regarding the questions. But if you are sending the private messages, so I have to go one by one. Yes. So it's better you put any particular interactions on the public ones, so it will be easier, right? Yes. Yeah. In sharp state for the ninth one, I thought it was the second answer. Do we have any doubts regarding that? No, not the second one. In sharp, it's definitely had the relation, because the first one is talking about the binaries, and the second one is a character representation, so it is related. Okay. So I'm moving to the 11th one. Let's see what's there in the 11th question. Yeah. While using a word processing software, Nimal accidentally removed a sentence from a document. Which are the following icons should Nimal click to restore the removed text? Yes. Now, when it comes to the going step backward, what that means, like if you are removing the sentence, that is something that you have done now, so you have to reverse what it is. We call it undoing, right? So undo will help us to go step by step backward on the Word document or on a word processing software what we have done. And redo will help us to come forward up to the last point on the task that we have done on a Word document or a word processing software. So if you look into those, the answer is very clear. The answer is going to be the second one. Don't mix this up with the answer, with the icons of the third one. So this is the save icon. This is the redo icon. Don't mix it up. This is the printing icon, like printing. So this is the answer, which is the undo. Right, so the second one is going to be the answer. Right, so many new things. Right. Okay, very good, very good. Most of you have given the correct answer. Yes, and do not get hesitates. Yes, Sama answered. Sama asked it. Third one is reloading. It's not. Yeah, it's now. It's funny when it comes to the word processing softwares. This is goes with the redo, right? So you can see at the top of the Word document with these two icons together, second and third icons together, right? So definitely the answer is going to go with the second one regarding the undo, right? So if you have seen it as the reload, you have seen it on a browser, not a word processing software. Here we are talking about a word processing software, right? Good that you have seen the places, the same icon, but don't mix it up, right? Okay, we are moving to the 12th question. When using a word processing software, which are the following shortcut key combination is used to cut a selected piece of a text and paste it elsewhere. So here we are talking about cut and paste, right? So when it comes to the word processing software, you better remember these small shortcut key combinations, right? Most of them are starting from the starting letter of the word with the control button. Copy, control C. Copy start from C. And cut cannot be taken with control C because it is given to the copying. So cutting, it gives us a symbol of a scissor, which is the X character. Control X will help you to cut. Pasting, it's not the control P because control P goes with printing. Because of that, control P gives us the pasting option. Right? So here they are asking cutting some particular part and pasting it elsewhere. So control X and control V, which gives us the second answer as the correct answer for the question number 12. All right. And control Z, that goes with what? That goes with undo. Right? Control Z goes with undo. For your information, I'll remind you, control Y will goes with redo. Right? So you better remember these things. Right? So keyboard shortcuts. There are some given in your word processing software lesson, the sixth lesson, the word. So you better go through those things, right? So the correct answer for this is going to be second one. Okay, very well done. Yeah, control Y goes with redo, right? Okay, great, great. Right, people. So the 13th question. 13th question, which are the following are valid column label in a spreadsheet? Yes. Now, when it comes to the spreadsheets, if you can remember, you should remember, there are columns which are denoted by an English letter. And when it comes to the rows, they are denoted by a number, right? So when this is goes up to the 7, then after you will find AA, like the vehicle number system that we see on the road, right? So they're asking what are the valid column labels. So AA is a valid column label, of course. 3B, it's not a valid column label. Like when it comes to the 3B, how a 3B can become. This is the cell name of this particular cell, right? The address of that cell or the reference of that cell, right? So we call it, we are not going to go with 3B, rather we are going to go with B3, right? First the column name, then comes the row header. First the column header, then comes the row header. So this is definitely wrong, right? So this particular reference that I have marked on the diagram, it's called the B3, right? That's the proper way of addressing that particular cell. Z, of course, it is a correct column name, yes. A colon C, no. This is kind of a cell range, right? Which is again not very much completed, right? You have to have the starting cell address, colon, then the ending cell address should be there, right? In when it comes to the advanced places, A colon C will sometimes select entire A column as well as entire C column, but it's somewhere beyond your syllabus, right? So how we can see the correct labels are going to be the Roman number 1 and Roman number 3. So your answer is going to be the first one, 1 and 3 only. Okay. All right, there is a message saying that I cannot be here properly. People, uh, is it goes the same way to the others? Right, okay. Right. So the message, who have sent that message are not clear at your end. So should be there is a problem with your connection. So you better try disconnecting and reconnecting soon. So most probably it will solve the problem, right? Okay, great. So let's move to the 14th question. So you can see the 13th question's answer is going to be the first one. So here comes the 14th question. 14th question, it says the following spreadsheet shows the marks obtained by the 5 students. Right, you can see there are 5 students, Nuan, Amal, Saman, Ishan, and Khalid. Which of the following functions can be used to display the minimum mark among all maths and science marks? Yeah. So what they are trying to ask is what is the minimum value among this range, the range that I am marking over here, right? So that's the minimum that they are asking. So we know if we are going to find the minimum using a function, we have to use the min function. So you can see the statements given in first, second, and the third Romans are all using the min function. So the function name is not going to be a problem, right? And now the problem is whether they have given the correct criteria or the correct cell range, right? So the first one says B2 colon B6. So B2 colon B6 means what? This range, B2 colon B6, this is. Then they have put a comma, B2 colon B6 here, they have put a comma. Then they say C2 colon C6. C2 colon C6 means this range. So yes, they have given the range properly. And of course, you can use the range like this as well, right? Much easier method is like B2 colon C6. It will straight away select the entire cell range, B2 colon C6. But you can use it on the first choice as well. So according to the choices given here, the first one is correct. The second one is also correct. The third one, what about the third one? It says B2 comma. B2 means what? B2 means only the B2 cell, right? That means only this particular one. Then comma B6. B6 means only this. And C2 means only this, and C6 means only this, which is not satisfying the range that is asking for. So Roman number third is not a correct statement or a correct function using. So definitely 1 and 2 Roman numbers are the correct use of functions to find the minimum mark out of maths and science mark. So the correct answer is going to be the first one. Right. So we can move to the 15th question. If the formula equals B2 star dollar E1 dollar E dollar 1 divided by 100, that is within the brackets, and there is another one in the bracket, C2 star dollar E dollar 2 divided by 100 is entered in cell D2. Okay. So if we think about the D column, right, 1 and 2. So this particular equation that is over here. And then copy it down to D3. Yes. Now they are going to copy this down to the next cell, which is the D3, which is over here. What will be the formula that appears in D3? Yeah. So when we are trying to figure out the answer, first we have to realize there are relative cell references in here as well as absolute cell references. Right? So what are the relative ones? B2 is a relative cell reference. Here C2 is a relative cell reference. Hundreds are concrete values. They are not cell references here. They are just concrete values. They are not going to change anything. And more importantly, this dollar E dollar 1, it's an absolute cell reference. Dollar E dollar 2, it is also an absolute cell reference, which means when we are copying this formula or any particular equation to another place, absolute cell references are never be changed, right? So you can give the absolute cell reference in 3 different ways, right? Now B1, we call this the relative cell reference. If you go with dollar B1, we call it column absolute cell reference. Only the B, that means the columns are being absolute here. One can be changed. One can be changed. But B will never be changed if you copy it because the dollar sign is at the left of it. And if you write it like this, B dollar 1, this is called the row absolute cell reference. Here, when you are copying, the B can be changed, but 1 will never be changed. This B is going to change, and this 1 will never change because it's been absolute. So in your answer, they have used this manner, dollar B dollar 1 kind of. This means both column and row absolution, or like the absolute, total absolute cell references. So neither B nor 1 is going to be changed. Now, when it comes to our answers, we are going to refer the fourth method that I have drawn to you. So let's see how it's going to be. Now, we are copying it to the cell address which is underneath the D2. That means the column is not going to change, only the row is going to change. Now, row is going to change means the row addresses or the row references are going to be changed. Since you are copying in the same column, they are in the D column. From D2, it comes to the D3. So row is going to be changed, but not the column. So the column header is not going to change, but the row header is going to change on the relative references. In absolute cell references, nothing is going to change. So how it's going to be? B2, now when it comes to the D3 cell, it's going to change like this. B2 over here will remain, B will be remain as B because it is in the same column, but 2 will change as 3. Star mark will be there as it is. Then dollar E dollar 1 will never change. It will be there as it is. So yes, and the divide by 100, that is also not going to change because it is a concrete value. And then plus this C2. C is going to be there as it is, but 2 is going to change into 3. And the star mark is going to be there. $E$2 is not going to change. Divide by 100 is also not going to change. And the bracket will be like this. So this is going to be your answer. So the first answer starting with B2, because of that it is not a valid one. The fourth answer starting with C2, not a valid one. Then the second answer is B3 star $E$1 divided by 100, correct, plus C3 star $E$2 divided by 100, correct. Yeah, second answer must be the answer. What's wrong with the third? B3, yes, here the absolute cell references has changed, which is makes this answer wrong. So the correct answer for the question number 15 is going to be the second one. Yeah, lots of answers are already into my chat. Yes, some got it correctly, some got it wrong. Okay, yeah, learn the mistakes, That's what you need to do. Right, okay. So the question number 15, the answer is the second one. Okay, moving to the question number 16. Which of the following is not a suitable guideline to follow when designing a slide presentation? Yes. You have specifically said when you are designing a slide presentation, the words should be somewhere around 6 to 9. There should not, I'm sorry, the number of lines on a slide should be somewhere around 6 to 9. Do not use a lot of images, do not use a lot of videos. Better you go with one or maximum 2 and have contrast colors. Do not use the red color a lot on your slide because it will give eye strains to the audience. Those kind of guidelines are there. So let's look into the answers given here. It says use bullet points instead of long paragraph. Yeah, that's a very good use of slide, right? So they are asking what is the unsuitable or not a suitable guideline. So this is suitable guideline, right? And include too much text on a single slide. No, this is the one that which is not a suitable guideline. So answer is going to be the second one since they are asking a not a suitable guideline. Use clear and readable context. Yes, that must be done. Maintain consistency in slide layout and colors. That is why we are using the themes, right? So it is also, it's better we do that. So the answer is going to be the second one. That is the unsuitable guideline on regarding a particular presentation. So for the 16th, second one is going to be the answer. Yeah, 17th. Yes, now in the question paper it says from 17th to 19th these tables are being used, but it actually goes until the 20th question. Not 17 to 19, but 17 to 20th it will go. All right, so that's a small printing mistake when I was preparing the paper. So anyway, we'll go with the things. Now, in the database question, you have given 3 tables: the student table, the course table, and the registration table. And at the top, they have given a particular instruction to you. It says a student can register for many courses. A course can have many students, right? So, like, if you can remember, in the end of the database lesson, you may have gone through these kind of statements. This explains what's the relationship in between student and the course, right? So, if I remind you what it is, we got student, we got course, right? So here it says, according to the notes, one student can register to many courses, one course can be registered by many students. So ultimately, the relationship between the student and the course is many to many. That is the final relationship. That's actually a additional information that you have in this question. So, but I was reminding it to you in case if you are given with a different question in the exam. So let's look into the questions that they have asked. So we have given three tables, and this is the question that they are asking. What's the most suitable primary key of the registration table? Yes, registration table. Now, to figure out what's the most suitable one on the registration table, we can see if we think about student ID alone, we can't take student ID alone. One, this particular student IDs are repeating. If it is going to be a primary key, if we are choosing only one column, that column should have unique values and it should not be empty to become it as a primary key. So student ID alone cannot be taken as a primary key. So then we are looking to the course ID. When it comes to the course ID, yes, 1, 2, 3 is there, right? So it is kind of a unique, right? But the problem is, if you look into the course table, course ID is the primary key of the course table over here, right? And when it comes to the student ID is acting as the primary key of the student table. Those are very clear because in the student table or in the course table, we cannot go with any other column to make a primary key because either they are repeating or they are complex to have. Right? So student ID is the suitable one for the student table. Course ID is the suitable primary key for the course table. And since the note is given, one student can do many courses and one course can be done by many students. Right? Now, as you can see, here student ID S001 is doing two different courses, C001, C003. So one student can be done, can do many courses. But here in this table, one course can be done by many students are not reflecting, but it is given in the notes, right? So you have to be very careful on that, right? So this kind of a thing, I mean, course ID is given as a unique value to deceive you or to quote you in the answer, right? But you have to remember what the note says. So that means at any occasion, there could be a particular record like this, right? It can be goes like this. S002 is following C001. This kind of a thing can also be there, right? Which makes same course can be done by many students, right? So that is how we are going to have the argument. So don't go with the course ID even though it seems to be unique. You have to consider about the notes that is given to you, right? So it says a student can do many courses. One course can be done by many students, right? So there is a possibility of repeating the student ID in the registration table. There is a possibility of repeating the course ID in the registration table. So neither the student ID alone nor the course ID alone can be taken as a primary key. Instead of that, what we can do is we can composite those two, we can combine those two and consider it as a primary key, which means student ID and the course ID together can be considered as a primary because that combination will not be repeated. S001, C001, there is no reason to repeat it again because the same student is not doing the same course again, right? So S001, C001 will there once, right? It's not going to repeat. So definitely it's going to be a unique one and it is not empty. So that's going to be the primary key of the registration table, student ID plus course ID together. So the answer for the 17th one going to be the third one, right? Be careful, people. Yeah, let me see. Yes. Okay, so many answers are here. I'm very happy for that. Yeah, some have gone to the next questions as well. Very good, very good. Keep it up. Good interaction. Uh, yeah, yes. Asking about the breaks. Let's see how it's going to be. Yes, asked how the dollar is working. I think I have explained how it is. Right. Okay, so moving to the next question, the question number 18. Question number 18 is also regarding these tables. So the question is, which of the following is a foreign key in this database? Yes. Now we have figured out in registration table, student ID and the course ID together is a primary key. As well as when it comes to the student and course, student ID is the primary key of the student table and course ID is the primary key of the course table. Now, this is a very valid point. Most of you are going nuts when it comes to these kind of questions, like conflicting what is primary and what is foreign, right? Because this is a special situation if you have not figured it out properly. Now, in the registration, if you think about the student ID alone, it is a repetition or a use for the second time in this database because the student ID in the student table is the primary key over here. Student ID in the registration table is not a primary key alone. Get it to your mind very well. Student ID in the registration table is not a primary key alone. Primary key together. Student ID and course ID together. That's why I have drawn a red rectangle around the primary keys. So together, it is a composite primary key, but alone, student ID alone, it is a use of a primary key of the student table inside another table. So we call this the foreign key. Student ID alone is a foreign key. Same way, course ID alone is also a foreign key. Why? Because the course ID in the course table is a primary key. So foreign key defines when a primary key of a one table is used as a normal key of another table, it is considered to be a foreign key. But be careful. Sometimes you may get the doubts. Student ID in the registration table is in the primary key of it. So will it be a foreign key? Don't keep those kind of doubts. Alone, of course, student ID in the registration table is a foreign key. Same goes with the course ID in the registration table. So both are foreign keys. So let's go with the answers. Let's look at the answers. They are asking what's the foreign key. Student ID in the student table. No, student ID in the student table is a primary key on that occasion. So this is wrong. Second one, course name in the course table. No, it's never going to be a foreign key. It's not. Course name was not a primary key, so it cannot be a foreign key. Student ID in the registration table. Of course, that is the correct answer. Student ID alone in the registration table, it's a foreign key. P in the course table, not again. P was never be a primary key, so neither it can be a foreign as well. So the answer for the 18th question is the third one. Okay. So learn the mistakes if you have done. So if you figure this out, very well done. 19th question. So the 19th question again regarding the database. So they ask if a new student S004 from Colombo registers for the course Python Basics, that is C002 course ID, and pays the full course fee. Which table or tables should be updated for this purpose? Yes. Now it says, we have to figure it out very clearly here. It's a new student. New student means an entry for the student table should become, correct? There should be a new student over here. A new entry. So it should be. And they said from Colombo, registered for the course Python Basics and pays the full course fee. And if you look into the course table properly, you can see there is a course called Python Basics already. So no changes happen in the course. But since he is paying fully, we have to have an entry in the registration table. So S04 pays to C002. Like what? The course fee, they haven't mentioned the course fee, right? We can take it from the course table, it's 20,000 here. So of course, so the updatings or like the new insertion of data happens only in the student and the registration table. Nothing is going to be updated or inserted into the course table. So the answer is going to be student and registration tables should be changed or should be inserted, right? So student and registration, that means the third answer is going to be the answer for the question number 19. Yes, well done, well done, well done. Okay. Yes, they are asking whether the recording will be provided. I think you have to check it with the schools, my dear. I hope they are recording the session. So most probably, of course, you may get the recordings. Yeah, we are going to the 20th one. In the 20th one, again, the last question regarding the database question, it's regarding the query aspect. Yes. What are the tables that, I'm sorry, what are the tables it should be, there's a mistake, what are the tables that needed a query that shows the student name and relevant course name at the output? Now, be careful when you're providing your answers in this kind of a question. They are asking about the query. Query is one of the objects that is provided in the database management system, where we can filter the needed data from one particular table or from many particular tables. Now here they are asking you to get the student name and the relevant course name, right? So if you look close, the student name, if you want to take the student name, you have to refer the student table. And if you want to take the course name, you have to refer the course table. Now, you may get the idea or you may get the feeling, okay, student table and the course table will give me the student name and the course name. Okay, those two tables are sufficient. But no, it is not sufficient. By just looking at the student and the course table, if I just show these two tables in the screen, can you tell me what is the course followed by the student called Niman? You can't, right? Please be careful on your microphones. Right? So if I ask the question, what's the course followed by the Niman? Without the reference of the registration table, we can't figure it out. Right? Because the student table explains you student ID, student name, and city. Course table only explains you course ID, course name, and fee. Right? So no relation in between these two to figure out which student is doing which course. The relationship is provided by the registration. Right? So when we go there, then only we see, okay, S001, that means the Nima, is following C001, that means web development. So if you need to have the student name and the relevant course name, then you must refer the registration table as well. Right? So then your answer should be all three tables. If you are facing difficult on figuring out what are the tables to be on a query, what you must do is do this practice. Don't think about the query. You think about the answer to your question to be figured out using these tables. If you are given the question, to be figured out from these tables how we are going to do it. What are the tables you need? Those are the tables that we have to use in the query as well, right? So don't bother about the query. Just think about how you are going to do this using these three tables. So you mark the tables that you need to find those details. So those tables will be referred by the query as well to get the answer. So as I told you, the answer is going to be all three tables. Fourth one is going to be the answer. Yes, of course, very good. Most of you have given the correct answer, right? Yes, so we are done half of the paper. So if you got any questions regarding this, it's time for you to ask.
Sir, excuse me.
Yes, Kutal.
May I be explained on the topic of quarry?
Query, yes, okay. I'll give you now. Query is kind of a lengthy thing to talk about, but I'll show you what the query is in a very quick manner, right? I hope you will get the idea. Otherwise, you have to go through a kind of a different procedure, like it's a something long that you have to figure out. Let me get the some sample database over here. Right. I think you can see my screen properly. I am opening a small database which has, let's say you got, I'll open in the student table, which has some details regarding the student. I'm opening the class table, which has some details regarding the class. Right. So these are two separate tables. Now, if I need to have an output or if I need to filter data, uh, from the student table, let's say I need to filter data from the student table, having only the admission number, student name, and the date of birth. Those are the only things that I have, that I need to have, right? So from the student table, I can't get rid of the other columns and have only the columns that I need. So to do this, I can create a query. So what you have to do is you have to go to the create, and you can use the query wizard or query design or SQL query, right? So if I use the query wizard, I'm going to get the simple query wizard. So you have to go through this thing, right? Since I'm doing this one time, if you do not figure this out, just refer the recordings. If you got the recording, I think you will be receiving the recording. So the student table, we select what do we have. What do we want? We want the admission number. We can double click on it. And we need the student name. And we need the date of birth. So these are the selected columns that we need. So we press the next button. And they are asking what's the name of the query. We can give any particular name over here. So I'm just going to keep it student query for the moment. And then yeah, there are some changes can be done over here, which is not very much needed. So you can click finish. So once you click finish, you will see, yeah, this is my student query. See, student table is here, class table is here. A new one called student query is created over here. So admission number, S name, date of birth only be seen here, right? So this kind of a thing, what we call query. So query will help us to filter data based on our requirement, right? So when it comes to the advanced program, like if you are going to learn the ICT for the A levels, you will be taught these kind of SQL statements. You can write the SQL statements as well. That means you can code the statement and create a query like this as well. Is that clear, Puda? That's the best I can do for the moment, since we are having a limited time.
Yes, sir.
Right, okay, great, great. Okay, let's move to the 21st. I think, let me check the other messages as well. Yes. Yes, yes. Rukhaya, I think Rizan. Rizan is asking what is form and reports. This is going to be a database lesson. I'll show you what it is. People, I really don't have time to explain how it's going to be. Now, you have seen a query. So form means this kind of a thing. So you can create a form by going to the create tab and clicking and using this form group. So once you create a form, you can use the form to add details into the tables, right? So now this student form is here. Once I add the details by creating a new record, then those details will be inserted into the student table as the last record, right? So forms can be used to do that. And reports, in the other hand, gives us a chance to create a customized report. So we can have the different nice kind of a heading, a nice kind of arrangement, and it is the thing that we are going to print. Now, if someone asks the student details, printing this out will not be very nice, and it's just raw data that we have. Now, if we want to present it properly to the top management or to some stakeholders, we have to make it a report and present it. So it will be a very good illustration for the others. So we can do different kind of things like having headers, having dates, having our kind of custom formats when it comes to the reports. And it also can be created using this create tab, right? In the create tab, you have the table creations, you can do the query creations, you can do the form creations, you can do the report creations. Those are the 4 objects that is given in your syllabus to be learned, right? Okay, right. I think, yes, I have answered these questions. Right. Yes, okay. Right. Someone has asked for my contact number. You better get it from the school, Putta, right? Okay. Right. Great. Let's move to the next question. Now we were at the 20th. Now we are going to the 21st. In the 21st, it says a water tank monitoring system is required to calculate the minimum time needed to fill a tank completely using a pump, right? Which are the following are the required inputs for this program? Yeah, now it's a practical scenario, right? Water tank monitoring system is there. It's required to calculate the minimum time needed to fill a tank completely using a pump. No. Think about that. You are filling a bottle using a small cup. Now, if you want to figure out how much time that it needs to fill this bottle using this small cup, you may need these requirements on that occasion as well, right? So what are the inputs that they have given? They say capacity of the water tank. Of course, you need that, right? Whether it is 10 liters one, 20 liters one, 50 liters one, 1,000 liters one, you need to have the capacity, right? Because you are going to calculate the minimum time, right? So time depends on the speed of the water flow, right? And how big the water flow, right? And what's the capacity of the water tank, right? Because we have to give the time regarding the tank. If the tank is smaller, it will take less amount of time. If the tank is bigger, it's going to have more amount of time. So the water tank capacity is a must to have that calculation to calculate the minimum time. Flow rate of the pump, that's the other thing. You have to have the flow rate of the pump. Now if you think, if you open the tap and have a fixed speed on the tap, if you have different size of bottles, the smaller bottle will fill quickly, but a bigger bottle will take time, right? And on the same way, if you have the same size of bottles, if you got several number of tap with different speeds, the faster step will fill the bottle quickly, the slower step will fill the same bottle, getting more time into it, right? So these two factors, capacity of the water tank and the flow rate of the pump, are must-need thing to calculate the minimum time of the filling of a particular tank. Color of the tank, we don't bother, right? It doesn't matter. Color does not affect on the water filling rate or the water filling time. So, of course, C is not going to be a fact to be think about. So, definitely A and B only. Right. Okay. Then moving to the 22nd. Excuse me. Which are the following tasks require both iteration and selection control structures? Yes. If you can remember, in your programming lesson, there are three concepts that is being introduced to you, right? First one is the sequence. Sequence is the steps happens one after the other, right? Instruction that happens one after the other. So we call it a sequence. And then comes the selection and iteration, right? Iteration happens due to a condition. And for some reason, or like depending on the condition, some of the steps will be iterated. But you can see on the board is an iteration. And due to the same condition, like be yes or no, the iteration can be exist. So this is the nature of the iteration. This is how it looks alike. How an iteration looks alike. It has this circulating method or like repeating method like this. This shape, you can find it. When it comes to a selection, how the selection works, it's the same condition box that we are going to use. And due to a condition, it chooses one single path. And then it will meet again like this, right? So this is the nature of the selection. It deviates and it meets on a common point again. Iteration does not have like that. On one part, it goes around, that means happens again and again, and on the other part, it exits the iteration. But the selection, it deviates into two parts, and again, they are going to meet at one common place. That's how we are going to figure out what is an iteration, what is a selection. Sequence is something that we see always on a flowchart. So in the question that they are asking is, which of the following tasks requires both iteration and selection? And if you can remember, what I have given you over here are some examples in your textbook, right? Preparing a letter to be posted, the very first example in your textbook, right? It was the example for the sequence. So this is a sequence. It does not have any iteration or selection. So one is not going to be your answer. Second one, handing over all the 40-page books to the Nimal and 80-page books to the company from a bundle of books. This is going to be your answer. Why? We got a bundle of books. Let's say we have 100 books in our bundle. So we are going to give 40-page books to the Nimal, 80-page books to the company. So what are we going to do? We take the first book, we check whether it is a 40-page one, then we are handing it over to the Nimal. Or else we are going to hand it over to the company. So checking the book, the number of pages, and handing it over describes the selection. And what we are going to do next, we take the second book and do the previous selection. And we take the third book and do the previous selection. That means we are doing the same steps again and again until the bundle is over. So that is the iteration condition. Bundle until the bundle is over. So you will always ask or you will always check, is there any more books? So that is going to be your iteration condition. If so, you take the book, check the page, give it to either the Nimal or to the company regarding on the pages. Right? So two conditions you are being checked. First thing is number of pages. That is for the selection, to select Nimal or the company. And you check whether there are any more books to be there, whether there are any more books in the bundle. That is the iteration condition. So second one is the answer. In third one, repeating tasty cup of tea by testing the taste for several times after adding sugar. That describes only the iteration. So you how to do? You taste the tea, and if it is not satisfying, you are adding some sugar, stirring it, and taste it again. If it is not satisfied, you are adding more sugar, stirring it, tasting it. Right? So only one condition. Is the cup of tea tasty? That's the only condition you have. If it is not, you are going to repeat the adding the sugar and stir it. If it is yes, then you are going to stop that thing. So only iteration is given here. Only iteration or repetition is there. And adding two integers and display the speed again is a sequence. No any conditions are given, only the sequence. So not the third one, not the fourth one, only the second one is going to be your answer. All right. Very good, very good. Right. So moving to the 23rd. Consider the following P, Q, and R logical expressions. X is larger than 5 and Y is larger than 10. So they have given some statements in P, Q, R. Later, they are providing the values for X and Y. Right? X is 8 and Y and 12. They are asking which are the following represents the correct outcomes of P, Q, and R respectively. Okay, let's figure this out. In the P, if you apply the P with the values of X and the value of Y, it says 8 larger than 5 and it says 12 less than or equals 10. So 8 larger than 5, this is true. And 12 less than or equal to 10, this is false. So now you have true and false to be interact with the AND operation. In AND operation, to receive true, both the operands should be true, must be true. So here one is false, so you are getting the answer false. So in your answer, first one should be false. So here the first choice gets true, here the first choice gets true, so they are disregarded. Okay, so the first one goes with the false. So both these answers give the false. Let's check the second one. Here comes the second one. It says x equals 8 in the brackets. It says x equals 8. That means 8 equals 8. Comes to the first bracket. Here it's O. And it says 12 larger than 20. So 8 equals 8, which is true, or 12 larger than 20, which is false. Now, it's an O operation. So in the O operation, either of the operands are true, output is true. Right now, here, left hand is true, right hand is false. Still, the answer is going to be true. So your second answer must be true. So only this satisfies your answer. This is not. So the fourth one is also taken away. So the answer must be the third one. The R, it says not x less than 0. So not x less than 0 means what? It says not 8 less than 0. So 8 less than 0 means it's a false one. So you are getting not false. Not false means true again. So that is why the third one is also true. Right? So the correct answer is going to be the third one. Okay, yes. Many of you have given the answer. Very good, very good. 24. Right. Here comes the operators explains in the Pascal. So they have this particular statement or the equation given. They are asking what's the answer for this. Yes. How we are going to figure this out. Now, when it comes to the Pascal, you have the operators and have some precedence of them, right? And here we have the plus operator, we have the multiplication operator, we have the subtraction operator, and we have div. Div is for what? To take the what we call the answer regarding the particular division. So if I illustrate it to you, if you take 5 divided by 4, better I take 2, better I take 2, so it will be much good. If the 5 divided by 2, it's going to be 2, it's going to be 4, and 1 is remaining. Right? In Pascal, if you say 5 div 2, you are going to get this answer. Right? And if you say 5 mod 2, you are going to get this answer. Right? So the modulus is given by the mod. Div is going to give you the answer by disregarding what is remaining. Right? So this is how the div and the mod is working. And the other thing you have to remember is multiplication, division, div, and the mod has a higher priority than the addition and the subtraction. So when you are illustrating this, you have to give the priority to the multiplication, division, div, mod first, then must go with the plus and the subtraction. Right? So what will happen? Here, if you think about, I'm going to clear this out. So first, what is going to happen is brackets will get the priority of all about. So because of that, 6 plus 4 bracket will happen first. He is the top priority one, right? So that means 10 will happen, 6 plus 4, and multiplication of 3 minus 12, div 3 will be there. Then what will happen? Here you got the multiplication and the div. So from the left, you find multiplication first. That means 10 into 3, 30 will happen first. Minus 12, div 3 will be there. Now what will happen? Div happens next. That means 30 minus 12 div 3. So when you divide 12 by 3, answer is 4, nothing is remaining. So 12 div 3 will give you 4. Now 30 minus 4, 26 will be created. So the answer is going to be the third one. Okay, so that's how that particular arrangement is done. So yes, most of you have get the correct answer. Well done, well done. Right, so for the question number 24, the answer is going to be the third one. Okay, here comes the 25th. Yes. Now, these kind of questions are a little bit new to you, right? Like starting from the year 2022, they have given this kind of Pascal codes to figure out what the output is, right? So you better be careful. You need to know what's the difference in between write and write ln, read and read ln, right? You have to figure it out. Otherwise, sometimes you will get mixed up when you are going to have the particular output, right? So let's look into this program which is given in figure 1. So they have created the variable called x. It is in the integer type, right? So then they say the begin, that must be set, and they have initialized the x. X is given an initial value, which is 2. So on this kind of thing, when you are hand tracing a particular program, it's better you open a column for each and every variable that you find in the program, and also have a column for the output of the program, right? you can create the column when it is required. Now, I'm creating, they have set the variable x on here, so I have created the next column. They have given a value for the x over here, then I'm providing the value for the x, it's 2. Now I'm coming to the while loop. It says while x less than 12. So I'm checking whether the x is less than 12. Yes, it is true, right? Then they say add 3 to the existing value of x and make it the new value of x. So existing value is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. So now the x is going to become 5. So not 2, x will become 5. So this is the very last line of the while loop. So then we are not going to go this statement straight away. Instead of that, how a loop is going to work is, once it comes to the very last line of the loop, which means this in this program, it goes and checks this condition again. That's what the looping is, that's how the looping is behaving. So now it checks, is x still less than 12? So x is less than 12 because value of x is still 5. So it is true again. Then this is going to happen again. Add 3 to the existing value of x given into the x. So 5 plus 3 is going to become 8. Goes up and check this condition again. X is less than 12. Yes, still it is. Add another 3 to the x. 8 plus 3 is 11. Goes up and checks the condition again. X is less than 12. Still it is. 11 is less than 12. Then, since it is true, go down and do this thing. Add 3 for the x. 11 plus 3 becomes 14. And then goes up and check this condition again. Now, x is 14. 14 is less than 12. So the condition false. Now comes to the right ln. And they are asking us to write the value of x, which means 14, which means your answer is going to be the third one. Right? Okay, I got very well. Very well done. Yes, yes, yes. So the 25th, third one is the answer. Most of you have taken the answer. Well done, people. Okay. Right. We are moving to the next question. Next question is about figure 2, 26. Yeah, again, you are given a particular code and they have used the mod keyword over there to calculate the modulus and with the for loop of the Pascal. Let's see how it happens. Right. All right. Now here they have created a variable called I. So we need to have an I column. It's an integer. And in the body, after the begin, they says I equals 1. So that is how they initialize the very first value of I. So at the very first, it's going to be 1. Now, as you know, for is an iterative structure. It has an iteration. It is used for the iteration. If is the structure that we use for the selection. So I is 1. At the second iteration, I is going to be 2. Third iteration, I is going to be 3. Likewise, I will increase until 5 per iteration. So here it says for I colon equals 1. So I starts with 1. Then it goes to the next line. So this happens. I is given 1 at the very first time. Then goes here. It is asking if I mod 2 equals 1. I mod 2 means what? I, that means 1 divided by 2. So you will be getting 0 over here and remaining is 1. 2 into 0 is 0, 1 is remaining. So this is what you give by I mod 2. In this case, 1 mod 2. I to the value of 1 remaining. So I mod 2, 1 mod 2 give you 1 as the answer. 1 is divided by 2 and they are searching for the remainder. It's 1. So that means the if condition is true. If condition is true, then you are going to write I. That means 1 will be written as the output. And here you have to be careful. They are using write. Write will do what? It will print something on your screen and keep the cursor at the right side of it. So the next, if there is another one to be printed, it's going to be printed right after this cursor. Right, if you have used right ln here, then the cursor will not be staying here. It's not going to stay here. Instead of that, it's going to go to the next line, right? ln here you can again with the ek. It goes to the next line. ln will help the cursor to move to the next line. But just right will keep the cursor right next to the one. So that is what you have to remember. It is at the right side of the one. So now, once it is been done, the writing, the number 1, it goes up again and will execute the next iteration of 4. That means I will become 2. So the second iteration starts. Comes and checks the condition again. If I mod 2 equals 1, now the value of I is 2. Now they are checking 2 mod 2 equals 1. 2 mod 2 is not equals 1 because when you divide 2 by 2, it's going to be like this. Now 2 mod 2 gives you a 0, no remainder. That means this if condition is false. That means not going to write anything. Goes up and increase the I by another 1. I becomes 3. Comes here and do this if condition again. 3 mod 2. Now you can figure it out. 3 mod 2 will give you 1. When the 3 is divided by 2, remainder is 1. So the condition is true again. Then the writing will happen. That means your 3 is going to be printed at the right side of the 1. Goes up and increase the I value by 1 again. So I becomes 4. Comes and checks the condition again. I mod 2 equals 1. I is 4 now. 4 mod 2 means no remainder. So it means 0. Remainder equals to 0. So this condition is false. Not going to write anything. Goes up and increase the I for the one last time. Because this is the very last value of the mod 4. So it becomes 5. Comes and checks the if condition. I mod 2 equals 1. Yes, once 5 divided by 2, the remainder is 1. So the condition is true, then it's going to write. So the 5 will be written at the right side of the 3. That's it. The 4 will be done. That means the program will be done. So your answer is going to be 1, 3, 1. Yes. Okay. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Some are given the correct answer. Some have given some have done some mistakes. Anyway, yes, it's better. It's better you go through. You will be getting 1 or 2 or 3, maybe 3 questions in your exam paper like this. So have the confidence to do this. Right, great. So the answer is going to be the second for the question number 26. Moving to the question number 27. Yeah, it's kind of a lengthy code, but you may have seen this earlier as well, right? So this is about finding the grade depending on the mark that is given by the user. So you can see in the program, they have created the variable called marks. It is an integer variable, and they have given a write as enter marks, and using a readln, they are reading the value that is given by the user to the variable called marks. right? Then from here, they are checking whether the marks is larger than or equal 75. If so, they are going to display A. If not, they are checking the marks is larger than or equal 60. If so, it is going to display B. If not, they are checking the marks is larger than 40. If so, they are going to show C. Otherwise, it's going to show F. So what you have to realize is like the program will only display one letter, either A, or B, or C, or F. Right? That is why a lot of ifs are there to select what the correct one is. Right? So once you figure this out, the finding the answer is very easy. You are asking what would be the output of the code shown in figure 3 when marks is 65 and 35 respectively. So two different occasions. Once the 65 is given, then the 35 is given. So if you are providing 65, what will happen? If you provide 65, 65 is not larger than 75. So user will enter 65 over here. So it will be read to the marks 65. Now the marks, that means 65 is compared on this. This is wrong. Then comes to the else, and the 65 will be compared with this. They will check whether 65 is larger than or equal to 60. So it is correct. Then it shows B. So for the 65, it's going to give you a B. And the other one is 35. So 35, if the 35 is given, as you can see, it is not larger than 75. So I'll mark it in the grid. 35 is not larger than 75, not larger than 60, and also not larger than 40. Then all these if conditions are false, that means it needs to come on this else. So it will print F. So for 65 it's B, for 35 it's going to print F. So your answer is going to be the second, B, F. Okay, so the 27th, you are going to get the second answer. Yes, well done, well done. Many of you have given the correct answer. Moving to the question number 28. Yes, 28 is asking which of the following refers to the last element of a Pascal array declared by var b array 1 double dot 6 of integers. Yes, this is about checking whether you know what is the definition of the array. So as you can see, they have created an array name. This is the array name. B is the array name. Name of the array is B. And 1 double dot 6 indicates how many elements are going to be in the array and what are the indexes. So they are going to create an array called B, and that B consists of 6 places. And those 6 places are numbered as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is what they are saying from this. 1 refers to this one, 6 refers to this 6. So in case if they say here 0 double dot 3, then your box is going to be indexes like 0, 1, 2, 3. So be careful on what are the numbers that they are using there. So the first number indicates the first index, last number indicates the last index value. Right, so since your question says 1 double dot 6, it's going to go like I drawn in here. So the question asks, which of the following refers to the last element? Last element means this. So the last element is referred with the array name and the specific index. So it's going to be B within brackets, within square brackets, 6. So this is going to be the last element of it. So the answer must be the fourth one. Okay. No. Someone has mixed it up for the 5. No, it's not the 5. Right? As I illustrated here, indexes are starting from 1 and goes up to the 6. No, yes, someone is asking, want it starting from a 0? It's like this. Arrays will be starting from a 0 in case if they don't have provide this particular definition. If they haven't said something like this, if they say there is an array which the name is B, it has 6 elements, then of course by default we have to think it is starting from a 0. But here it is given a proper definition, right? And it is been explained in your book in very well manner. So when it is given the definition, this square bracket thing over here, 1 double dot 6, explains what is the first index and what is the last index. So definitely this is starting from 1 goes up to 6. If it says 2 double dot 5, definitely it will start from 2, goes up to 5. If it is say 0 double dot 3, definitely start from 0, goes up to 3. Likewise. Yeah, so be careful, right? Okay, I think the doubts are clear regarding that. Some others are asking. Yeah, most of you are asking 3. Yes, I know why you're asking this, because most of your past papers are having that practice, right? Yes, Praveen has said, can you explain the 25th question again? Let me check what's up with the 25th. Yes, and in case if I'm not answering or responding to something that you have made regarding a question, you can always disturb, right? Praveen, is it this question? Do you want me to do it again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do it quickly. All right, I will not be able to do all the questions if you ask to do it again and again. So, but for this question, since it is the programming one, I will redo it, right? Okay, let's do this quickly. Here, the variable called x is created. So we take a column for the x, and it is an integer type, and it is given an initial value called 2 over here. X is given 2, so x start at 2. And in the while loop, it's checking whether x is less than 12. So the x is less than 12. Yes, x is less than 12. So the value of x is 2 for the moment, 2 is less than 12. So it says, this statement says, add 3 for the existing value of x. That means add 3 for the value 2 for the moment. And make it the new value of the x. So 2 plus 3 is 5. So value of x now becomes 5. Praveen, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right, great. Then this while loop has only 2 lines with that. Like first one is the condition and only one line is there. So when we come to the very last line of the while, we go and checks the condition again. Right? So now it checks the condition again whether x is less than 12. So the value of x is 5 for the moment. It is less than 12. That means the condition is true. Goes again here, x equals x plus 3. So 5 plus 3 becomes 8. So now instead of 5, it is updated to 8. Likewise, again, it is going and checking the condition, whether it is less than 12, still it is, and goes to this statement again and increase it by 12. So 8 plus 3 is 11. And now goes to the condition again and checks it. Still, x is less than 12, so it is true. And then again comes to this statement, increase it by 3 again. 11 becomes 14. Again, it will go here and checks the condition. X is less than 12. 14 is always not less than 12. So now the condition holds. Then only it will reach this statement. So they are asking to write x. So the value of x for the moment is 14. That is why third answer is going to be the answer of this. Are we clear about it, Pravi?
Yes, sir.
Right, great. Okay, so moving to the question number 29, right? So the array question is both. I think all the doubts have been cleared. So I'm moving to the 29th question. Which of the following statements are correct? An interpreter translates and executes program line by line. Yes, interpreter is something which executes program line by line. On the other hand, when it comes to the compiler, it will take the entire program, translate it to ones and zeros, and then execute it. That's the difference of interpreter and the compiler, two language translators. Interpreter, if your program has 10 lines, take the first line, convert it to ones and zeros, execute it. Compiler, if you got 10 lines, take the all 10 lines and convert it to the program, then executes. My dear people, give me a second. Sorry for the disturbance. Yeah, so the interpreter and the compiler goes like that. Interpreter converts lines one by one and executes it. Compiler take the entire program, convert into ones and zeros, then execute it. So the line that is given over here is correct. B, it says machine language programs are written using zeros and ones, always. Translators are there to convert high-level languages or the assembly language into the machine language. That means ones and zeros. So, yes, machine language means always ones and zeros. Java is considered a low-level programming language, which is not. You got only two low-level programming languages. That is machine language and the other one is the assembly language. Only those two are considered as the low-level languages. Everything else are considered to be high-level languages. So remember that. Only machine and the assembly language are the two low-level languages. Rest of the things are considered to be high-level languages. So the correct answer is the first one, A and B only. 30th, which of the following contains an incorrect match with respect to the System Development Lifecycle, SDLC, the second lesson of your grade 11 book? Yes. So, requirement analysis. For the requirement analysis, we are using different kind of techniques to gather the requirements, like interviews, questionnaires, observations, and referring to the documents, kind of things. So yes, this is correct regarding the requirement analysis. They are asking the incorrect matching. Designing, again, designing means you are designing the program. You are drawing the flow chart, you will write in the pseudocodes, you will do the user interface designing, database designing, of course, so the designing goes with data flow charts and database design. Implementation means you are making or the developing what you have designed. So coding and debugging will be there in the implementation. We can't just implement just by doing the coding. We have to write the coding and check whether it is correct or wrong. So coding and debugging goes with the implementation. That brings us, the fourth one is the incorrect matching because that is only one which is left. Maintenance does not go with direct, parallel, and pilot. The other word is space. These are, what do we call, deployment methods. Deployment stage. This is how a system being deployed. You have direct deployment, you have parallel deployment, you have pilot deployment, you have phase deployment. So it is not maintenance. Maintenance means something that we are attending after deploying a system, right? So you should go with the fourth one as the incorrect one. Yeah, very good. Most of you have captured the things. Moving to the 31st. Which of the following statements about the domain name system is correct? DNS is capable of taking a domain name, converting it to an IP address. That is the service that is given to you. It has many other services, but according to your syllabus, remember them. And as an additional information, remember it can do the vice versa as well. That means DNS is capable of domain name, converting a domain name into an IP address. If it wants, it can match the IP address into a domain name as well. All right, that is an extra thing. In your syllabus, they are talking about converting domain names into an IP address. So the correct answer is going to be the third one. DNS help to transfer files? No, it is mostly done by the FTP, file transfer protocol. DNS stores web pages on the website? No, it is done by a web server. DNS is used to secure data transfer over the internet. That is done by several different protocols, HTTPS, sometimes TCP, different kind of domains are there, different kind of protocols are there. So the correct answer is going to be the third one for the 31st. 32nd, consider the following URL. Which of the following correctly identify the parts of the URL? Yeah, so what are these parts? HTTPS called the protocol. It is there on your book, if you can refer it. www is called the service of the internet. And this entire thing is called the domain name. And this portion, starting from ICT to grade 10, is called the path to the resource. Here the index.html called the resource. And more importantly, this particular .lk part is called the top level domain. In simple terms, we call it TLD. Right? So those are the things that we have to go with. So here it says HTTP is domain name, which is wrong. HTTP is the protocol. And here it says HTTP is the protocol, www.schoolnet.lk is the domain name. Yeah, this is the correct answer. ICT grade 10 is not the domain name, it is the path. Schoolnet.lk is not the file name, it's the domain name. So second one must be the answer. All right, moving to 33rd. Okay, some multimedia files over here. Which of the following correctly matches the given file types with the example file name extensions? Yes. So you have to be very careful with this. Sometimes these are some day-to-day things not to do. So be careful. Documents. PDF is a document, but not the MP3. It's an audio file. So the first one is disregarded. Here the documents, docs and PDF, which is correct. Images, PNG and JPG, of course they are correct. Videos, MP4 and AVI, that is also correct. So the correct answer is going to be the second one. Third one, the MP4, because of MP4, 3 can be disregarded. In documents, PPTX, even JPG goes with an image. They have given an image separately. JPG cannot be taken as a document format, so it is wrong again. So second one must be the answer. Yes, well done. Many of you have given the answers. Very well done. 34th, a raster image contains n pixels and has a dimension of 4 centimeters into 5 centimeters. If the image is enlarged to 8 centimeters and 10 centimeters, what will be the number of pixels in the enlarged image? Yes. Now, how it's going to be? This is a pretty, what we call, a tricky question. You have a raster image, it has only n pixels, right? So dimension is 4 into 5. Somewhere right over here. So 4 centimeters height and 5 centimeters width. N number of pixels. So we'll have some grid over here. We'll think these are the pixels, right? So it says if the image enlarged, that means the same image enlarged into 8 centimeters into 10 centimeters, right? That means now this is enlarged like this, right? So this is another 4 centimeter. This is another 5 centimeter. So will it change the number of pixels? What do you think? Yes? Give me an answer on the chat. Will it change the number of pixels? Yes, yes. Some are giving the answer. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Some has done it. Some has get the correct one. Some has taken. Okay. Oh yes. Yes. Yeah. Now, according to your syllabus, now there are different kind of ways that we can do this thing, right? So, according to your syllabus, we say like when we expand around the pixels are being stretched. But when it comes to the very practical scenario with the modern squares, sometimes when the spaces are happening, the pixels are being filled, right? So you can give the answer in two different methods, right? You can go with the number of pixels are not going to change. That will be the most suitable answer for you. That is why when the raster graphics are being expanded or like enlarged, its quality drops, right? But with the advanced softwares now, they have a method of filling the spaces or the white spaces or whatever the damaged places with the new pixels. But that, of course, given by the particular software, right? But according to the theory that we are learning, it's not going to change. It cannot be changed. What happens is the pixels will be stretched. That's what happens. So since it is the raster graphic, it's not going to change. If it is a vector graphic, vector is not based on the pixels, but it will not reduce its quality because the vector graphics are created from curved lines and the straight lines. It will create the curved line or it will change the dimensions of the lines and keep the quality or maintain the quality as it is. So most suitable one, it's going to be the end. Now, in the same occasion, if the question asks something like this, a raster image, let's say an image called A has the dimension of 4 and 5, 4 centimeters and 5 centimeters, which has n pixels. Then they say there is an image called B, which is the 8 centimeters and 10 centimeters large. How much it's going to be there are going to be pixels in the image B. If they ask how much pixels are going to be there in the image B, then of course it's going to be 4n because n is going to have this small portion is something similar to this one, 4 centimeters and 5 centimeters. This small part is going to be 5, the small part is going to be 4. So it has n pixels. So altogether it has 4n. But that is not the case in here. They have said it is being enlarged, right? The same image being enlarged. If the image enlarged, they say. So here the pixels are not going to change. But in this case, if you are referring to two different images, remember it can be calculated. Okay. Is that clear, the point that I am making, everyone? Right. Great. Okay, so be careful. These things will be very tricky. Okay, 35th. Which of the following statement is incorrect regarding raster and vector graphics? Okay. GIMP is mainly used to create a vector graphic. No, GIMP is a software which is creating raster graphics. Vectors are made by the Adobe Illustrator kind of things. Like you have provided some examples on your multimedia lesson at the end of the graphics part. So you better go with it. So GIMP is not a vector graphic one. GIMP is a raster graphic creation software. So this is wrong. Raster images are made up of pixels, not again. They are made out of curved lines and the straight lines. Vector graphics, I'm sorry. I have made a mistakes. This one is correct. Raster is made out of pixels. Vectors are made out of straight lines and the curved lines. So second one is correct. Third one, vector images lose quality when they are enlarged or compressed. Is it true or false? Vector images lose quality when they are enlarged or compressed. Vectors, that is done by the Illustrator kind of software. So they are not going to lose the quality when they are enlarged or compressed. So this is wrong as well. You are going to get more than one answer in this question. Fourth one says raster images are high in capacity compared to the vector image, which is wrong again. Raster images are high in capacity compared to the vector images. Yes, rasters are not high capacity. Vectors are going to be high capacity. It is wrong again. So yes, there are three. I think yes, I have made a typing mistake here. Instead of incorrect, it's better we ask the correct answer. So since they are asking, since the question says as incorrect, 1, 3, and 4, all three statements are incorrect, right? So if you have marked any answer from 1, 3, and 4, take it as a correct one. But the question should have been the correct one. I may have mixed it up when I was creating the question. Sorry for that. But the facts are being clear. Right. 36. An audio clip contains unwanted parts at the middle of the track which need to be removed using an audio editing software. In your case, we have learned the Audacity. Some labels icons from the software interface are shown below. After opening the audio file, which of the following actions can be used to remove the unwanted part? Yeah, what we should do if the track, if we think, okay, this is the track that we have, if this is the track that we need to have, then let's say you are going to remove this portion. So what we should do? First of all, you have to select the portion from the A tool, right? And you can't use, you need to remove that part, right? Removing does not mean muting, right? So once you selected, you can't do anything from this. This is to draw your particular lines inside the song, like the track can be drawn, track can be changed by using this particular pencil kind of a tool. So it cannot remove the things. And if you use C, it's going to keep the selected part and delete the rest of it. That is not what we need. We need to be remove the selected part. That means this portion. And again, not with this. This will do, the selected part will be muted. We don't need to mute it, we need to remove it. So you have to select it from the A, then you have to press the delete key, which will delete the selected part. So definitely the answer is going to be the second one. Select the unwanted part using A and press delete key in the keyboard. So the correct answer is going to be the second one for the 36. Right. Okay, some questions are here. Let us see. Yes, someone has asked what's the difference between the raster and vector. Raster means the pictures made out of pixels. Vector means the pictures made out of straight lines and curves. It is like these pixels will be stretched when you expand it, so the quality will be dropped. But raster graphics, what they will do is they can remember where the starting point and the end point of a straight line or the curved line. So they will recreate when you are enlarging it. right? So it will not drop the quality. So vector images are the quality ones. Raster images are somewhat quality on its nature resolutions, but when it is expanded or like enlarging or compressing, it will lose the quality, right? Vectors will not work like that. It will manage the details according to the expansion or the compression. It is because that image can remember from where the line is start and from where it is end. So when it is enlarged, it will figure out, okay, this is being enlarged, this is the point that I have to start the line, and this is the point that I have to end the line. So it has some kind of a memory element to remember how it works. So it will redraw the image and keep the quality as it is. But rasters, they can't do that, right? Right. Okay. C and D. Yes. Yeah. Hansaka, I think you are clear with what's the difference between C and D, right? C means trimming. Trimming means whatever that we have selected will be there, and rest of the things will be clear, will be removed. D is selected part will be muted. So our particular line, it's going to be like this. There will be a track and a mute part. Then the track is going to be again, right? Yes, B is now. If you want to use B is the pencil tool. Then we use the pencil tool. You have to enlarge the track. Once you enlarge the track, you will see something like this. This is when your track is being enlarged into very zoom into very great levels. Then using the pen, you can redraw these tracks. You can change these track like this, right? If you want, you can reduce this track like this. So it will change the pattern of those lines, which will change the melody or the pace or regarding some audio qualities of the particular. Right. Okay, going to the 37. Which of the following gives the appearance which of the following gives the approximate size in bytes of a raster image having 200 into 100 resolution and maximum of 8 colors? Okay, now be very careful. You have given the resolution, you have given the maximum colors, right? Now, and they are asking the size in bytes. Now, if you can remember, there is an equation for figure out number of colors which can be represented by a pixel. So that is given like this: number of colors equals to 2 to the power bits per pixel, right? So now they say they got 8 colors. So 8 color is equals to 2 to the power bits per pixel. 8 means 2 to the power 3. This is equals to 2 to the power bits per pixel. Therefore, we can say bits per pixel is equals to 3, because this exponentiation equals to this exponentiation when the base is the same. So you got 3 bits in a pixel, right? Now they say resolution is 200 into 100. So resolution means how many pixels are there to the width of your image, how many pixels are there for the height of the image. So you got 200 of a width, 100 of a height. So that means totally you have 200 into 100 number of pixels in the entire image, in this entire image. This is the number of pixels. So each pixel has 3 bits. We have find it from here. So the capacity in bits are going to be like this. 200 into 100 is the number of pixels. 1 pixel has 3 bits. So this is the entire capacity from bits. But they are asking the capacity in bytes. So you have to divide this by 8. Right? So 200 into 100 into 3 divide by 8 because byte has 8 bits. So you have to divide it by 8 to find the capacity in bytes. That means the answer comes as the third one. Okay, yes, well done. Some of you have figured out the answer. Very well done. Very well done. Here comes the 38. Consider the following list that was displayed on a web browser. It's an easy one. Here they have shown you an unordered list. And to create the unordered list, you need UL and the LI. UL defines unordered list, LI defines list items, right? OL and LI is for the ordered list, DL and DT plus DD as well goes with the definition list. Table and TR definitely goes with the table. So the correct answer is the second. 39. Consider the following paragraph with blanks labeled P to S. Yeah, so it is explaining some particular protocols as well as when the client and server is communicating what's going on. It says a user access web pages on the internet using it's a browser. We can't access the web page without a browser. So definitely not the second one, not the third one. P goes with browser. And the FTP protocol is used to transfer files between FTP. It goes from one point to another. So service providing is going to be a server. Service receiver is going to be the client. So in between server and client, it should be, right? So if Q is going to be the client, R should be the server, or R is going to be the server, is going to be the, Q is going to be the client, right? Vice versa, again, if they haven't say who is sending, who is receiving, they say in between. So Q can be client or R can be server, or either Q can be server and R can be client. Somehow that answer lies over here. Here it says service provider, so no, not the service provider, right? So fourth one is not the answer. First one is going to be the correct answer. Finally, to make a website available on the internet, it must be hosted on a web server. So that confirms first one is the answer. All right, the final question, 40th. Which of the following will help to reduce environmental pollution caused by electronic waste? Yes. So in there, we are using 3R system in most of the cases. So 3R means reducing, replacing, and recycling, right? So I'm sorry, reduce, reuse, and recycle, not replace, I'm sorry. So you can reduce, you can reuse. If you can't use, then you have to do the recycling part. So it says repairing electronic devices instead of replacing them. Yeah, this is kind of reusing. Repairing electronic devices means kind of a reuse. So that is correct. Disposing electronic waste with household garbage that we must not do, right? It will cause us many pollutions in many different ways. Donating usable electronic devices to others. Yes, donating means what? You are going to give it to someone else, right? So that means you are reducing, someone else is going to be reusing. So of course that is true again. So you can take the answer as A and C. Yes, many of you have given the answer. That's okay. Very well done. Yes, so dear students, you have done all 40 questions and you had a very nice interaction with me. And yes, yeah, we were planned to have the discussion of the entire paper with the second paper, but I'm very sad to say that I am in no position to do that because my dad is in the ICU for the moment. He's in a very critical condition. Even doctors have asked us to ask me and my family to meet the doctors in the morning at 9 a.m. And I was very problematic in the situation since you all were confirming to have this session today. So even though how critical my dad is, I asked my brother to be there with the doctors and please delay the discussion until I'm done with this work. So I was planning to do the entire session, my dear students, but unfortunately, this is an unavoidable condition that I'm facing. So I had to be there on 10:30, still I'm half an hour late. So I think they are very waiting and we have to decide what is the procedures that is going to go with my father. So unfortunately, and very unluckily, I have to be there. And please be excused on this because I was planning to do the entire get one until 1:30 with a break after discussing the MCQ, but unfortunately, I will not be having the chance today. So there will be more sessions that they have that the JMC has planning to do, and we will be have a chance of discussing the second paper on a different session. So I feel very sorry about it because you guys are very interactive with this session. But please understand the situation in here and please excuse me because I have to end the session from here just for today. I think you guys are having a very good knowledge regarding the paper discussion, and I think it will help you to have a good memory in your examination. And uh, we'll try to have a next session and have a discussion with you all. And I'm really glad that I was doing a session students like this. But things are on that manner, so I have to end the session from here. So yeah, thank you very much. And thank you very much for the comments. Yeah, we will, I think we will have a time to meet again. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a very good day. Thank you very much. I'm going to end it from here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, recordings will be given, I think, we'll see. But I think you will be given the recordings for that. Please contact the school and see. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm going to leave now. I'm really late for the moment. Thank you. Thank you very much.